What's up guys, David Falla here. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. On today's video we're going to be doing a classic slick back haircut, very salon friendly, the type of haircut that we get to do pretty much every day at the barbershop. And the main focus for this video is to show you guys how to do the shape up or line up. It's very important. This will be the frame of your haircut. If you do a great job with the haircut but you don't do a good job with the shape up, it's not gonna look as great. But if you do an okay job with your haircut and you line up that haircut very nicely, it's going to look amazing. So that outline is extremely important. So in this video I want to show you guys how I will do that on a classic hairstyle. So with that being said, don't forget to subscribe and like if you enjoyed this video, and let's go ahead and get started. So this is how my client looks before cutting the top. I am not going to switch the hairstyle. We're going to slick back the top, and the sides are going to be shorter. I'm not going to show the top how I cut it just because I want to focus this video on the shape up and on the sides. But pretty much all I did was cut it shorter at the same shape that it had before. It was a 90-degree haircut. So now I'm going to start with a number 4. Why number 4? Because for me, I can use a number 4 to connect the top with the sides. If you are new and you have problems connecting the top with the sides, you can start with a bigger guard, maybe a number 8, maybe a number 6. In this case, for me, a number 4 is actually it's a good guide to start. So now that I'm using number 4, I'm going to switch to a number 3. With the number 3, I'm going to stay underneath the number 4, and I'm going to start with the lever open, and I'm going to close that lever little by little. Also, keep in mind to follow the head shape. That means that if you feel that some places will look better if you leave the head a little bit longer there, then do that. In this case, the crown needs to be a little bit longer because if I slick the hair back and it's too short, the hair is going to spike up everywhere, so I keep the crown a little bit lower. So now that I use a number 3, I'm using a number 2, following the same principle, 2 with the lever open, and then I'm going to close that lever little by little. When I don't hear or see that it's cutting anything, then I'm going to switch to the next guide. That will be a 1.5 with the lever open, and then I'm going to close that lever until the haircut, the sides are fully done. Just make sure that you stay underneath your previous guide. So if you started with a number 4, the 3 goes underneath, the 2 goes underneath the 3, the 1.5 goes underneath the 2, and then you are done with the fading. Okay, so now I'm going to dry the top. I'm going to style the top the way the client's gonna wear it. I don't have to fully dry it, but I need to make sure it's styled the way the client wants it, and that's so I can see if there's anything that I need to fix or change or whatever that is. In this case, the crown I left it heavy, so you're gonna see that how it looks when it's dry. I have to connect that better, and I have to remove some of that bulk, which I'm gonna do after. So right now we're going to start with the shape ups. Couple things to keep in mind with a shape up. When you create a shape up, you are creating a line that doesn't exist, right? But the most important thing is that the shape is going to frame your haircut, so it's definitely going to make it look better, or if there's imperfections, it's going to make it look worse. So very important that you keep that in mind. Second, you do not need to push back the hairline, the natural hairline, too much. You just have to push it back enough that makes the haircut look good. The moment that you start pushing back the shape up too much, then the client will complain as soon as the haircut starts growing back, because the haircut just won't last as much, especially when you shape out the forehead. If you don't do a good job with that, clients are going to be very upset. So now we're going to shape up the top, the sideburn. You can see I create a guide on the top, and then I create a guide on the bottom, and then what I do, I just use the corner of my trimmer to connect those 2 dots. That's kind of how the way I do my sideburns, either if they're pointy or they're square. I always do them the same, so I create a guide on the top on the temple, and then one guide on the bottom of the sideburn, and then I just connect those 2. If I need, for whatever reason, to make the shape up a lot sharper, like nicer, I always have my blade. Remember that my trimmers are not crazy zero gap. They are zero gap a little bit, but not like nothing crazy, because I don't want them to bite the client or to leave marks or anything like that. So I create my shape up, with the trimmers the way I have them adjusted, and then I use the razor to make the shape up even nicer. That's the way I do things, right? So with the back, just make sure that it's straight. Use your mirror, stay back a little bit just to make sure that you can see the full picture, because it's extremely important that you do a good job with that. Okay, so now that we are done with the shape up and it looks symmetrical and it looks great on the mirror, then we're going to use the razor to make it even nicer. So I apply a hot towel, I apply shaving gel, then we're going to start with the shape up. I like to use the blade with the grain first, and then I go against it. I feel like that makes the shave a lot better, a lot more comfortable for the client, and it avoids irritation. So in there's places where I don't go against the grain, like on the neck, I don't go against the grain if the client doesn't request it, or if I know that the client wants it to be extra sharp on the back. The reason is because many clients are sensitive, so when you go against the grain on the neck, it's gonna create irritation. Like in my case, for me, I don't use the razor against the grain because of that reason, and then I want to avoid that for the clients. So now they're going against the grain. Look how I'm stretching the skin. It's very important that you stretch the skin at the moment that you are using the razor. So now that I'm done with that, I'm going to put a little bit of product on the top, and then something dry, because it's darker hair. It has a lot of shine naturally, so I don't need to add more shine to it. And now I'm using a comb to make sure that it has a nice texture that I added with the scissors. And that's it, guys. This is the final result. This is how it looks. A very classic haircut, but it looks very nice, very salon friendly. I know you guys are gonna use this information for your next haircut. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and like it, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.